Okay.
There you go. Now we can start. If you
Tell
don't
him
hear Sadie Hawkins there, Sadie Hawkenberg, Sadie Spolpakia, if you don't hear her.
Sadie Spolpakia, vice president of Spolpakia, has been there. Well, she's a staple of Spolpakian politics, and a lovely girl too. And I feel so sad for her future.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything is kind of screwed up over there. But Mikey, today is 4th of July, the 247th
Six.
146th. I'm always bad at math. 246th birthday of these here United States of America. And instead of focusing on all of the bad stuff, except the governor of North Dakota, we have to squeeze her in.
You are bad. You're a bad governor. Bad governor. Go sit over there. Go sit over there. That's it. Bad governor.
We'll get to her on Wednesday, and we'll delve back into the cesspool that is American politics.
And by the way, I don't know what her name is, how it's pronounced, but she's got to buy a vowel somehow in there.
Christy Nome.
Same thing.
What is it about? No, I said I wouldn't.
No, we can't. Wednesday for Christy.
Wednesday, okay, because today is July 4th.
Are you going to a parade? Are you going to a fireworks display? You're going to a thing?
Well, fireworks up here, you know how it goes.
You can't see them, you can hear them.
Yeah, you hear them and you look at the clouds. It's not fireworks, it's illuminating the clouds.
It's a hide and seek game.
Yeah. I'm starting to see a couple of patches of blue in the sky. So maybe we'll have a nice little, Edmonds has its little 4th of July parade where people could start putting out chairs last night at midnight. If you stay up to put a chair out at midnight, are you just a little whacked or what? But that's me.
Then that parade is very important, perhaps too important for you. Maybe you shouldn't go. It's so damn important.
I worry about that because I don't know that I would put a chair out. In Pittsburgh, they do the thing with the chairs for snow. If you clean out your space, you put a chair in the space, and God help the person that didn't put that chair there that parks in that space.
They do that for the Apple Cup in Wenatchee. People get to put out their chairs, but it's like 2 weeks beforehand. Like the streets are impassable with plastic chairs, and they've tied the chairs together, so you can't come by. You steal one chair? No. If you steal one, you got to take the whole row. They're tied together.
Why in the world do people? 2 weeks. Well, come to think of it, we're talking about somewhat backward places. In Morgantown, West Virginia, whenever the University of West Virginia, that fine institution of learning, wins the game. By the way, it's located just off of Don Knotts Boulevard, so that should tell you everything you need to know right there. They burned.
Are you nervous, Don? No. He's nervous that they're going to send him back to West Virginia. I would be too.
Yeah. So they do a thing where they take their couches out of the house when the team wins, and they burn them. So after a good victory, I mean, I guess they don't do it if they're playing like Our Lady of Perpetual Motion or something like that.
Hey, they got a tough team over at Our Lady.
But they definitely do it for the football games. If they beat a major opponent.
Who was it? Was a guy, a salesman at a sofa store that came up with this idea?
Probably, yeah. Because of course, you're not thinking, because you're in college, you're not thinking anyway. That number one, somebody could get hurt. Number two, well, now what do we sit on?
Yeah,
because you can't bring the burnt couch back up into the house,
and you can't leave it where it is, and you can't ask somebody to come and get it because there's burnt couches all over town. So what do we do with that?
Yeah, and it's not like in one of the Superman episodes, Perry White has played by the great character actor John Hamilton, has a problem that he has this nice chair, but he falls asleep in it while he's smoking his cigar.
Oh dear.
Which they're deathly afraid of. And so Clark and Lois and Jimmy go out and get Perry, a fireproof chair, probably filled with asbestos. You're going to go from smoking, you're going to go from the asbestos, you know.
So he sets himself on fire, but the chair does not burn.
Right. Well, they come to the bad guys, whichever 3 out of work actors George played fine that week.
Played by the same 3 out of 5 guys every week.
Yeah. Well, I saw one this week. This weekend they had Ray Hetherington and the guy who played Gillis on Tom DeAndrea. I couldn't. Where
did you pull that one from? Stop it! You're giving me a flashback over here.
Who played the neighbor on The Life of Riley, and I believe both the Jackie Gleason and the William Bendix versions.
What a revolting development this is.
You know, that was a great show. That Life of Riley was. But yeah, Tom DeAndrea. It took me a second, but
the crazy thing about that show is that he said it every week, and it was so in keeping with the rest of his vocabulary. What a revolting development this is. But I stand by one of the best catchphrases of all time.
That and away we go. Or hey Alice, bang zoom.
Yeah, bang zoom.
Then you did a moon. Although
one of these days.
Yeah, the future. One of these days. One of these. But you're not going to be able to forevermore use the whole thing.
No.
You can't. You couldn't do a reboot of The Honeymooners, although they did one. I don't know, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that. And
well, the funny thing is, he never hit her, but he threatened to.
Oh,
so you just can't do that. You can't threaten your wife every week,
right?
For the comic value,
right? It would, but in the 50s,
in the 50s, that's black and white. That's another world,
right? That's a sign of, that's a sign of the times. I mean, it's like we, in that age. We look back and we were taught even in school about the caveman who went and banged his wife on the head his girl on the head with the club and dragged her by her hair back to the cave. And
one of the rules, one of the ideas that you come up with is bang someone on the head close to your cave because you're going to have to drag her all the way.
You got to drag her.
It might as well be a short distance.
And I don't know how big people were back then. I think they were shorter and lived closer to the water, but still,
shorter and live close to the water.
Well, the primordial ooze, man.
Oh God. Yeah, it was and Cavemen only had one channel and there was only a couple shows on. There was a lot of test patterns.
A lot of drums back then.
So it was a tough neighborhood. Everyone was getting threatened.
Well, yeah, the prom couldn't have been really fun, man. I mean, want to dance? Yeah, boom.
Cavemen were really bad on themes. What's our theme this year? Same as last year. Boom.
Boom. Ugh.
What happened to the band? You don't need a band. Just boom.
Just boom. That's all. Show up. Boom. We leave.
Who made the punch? It's not a punch so much as it is an overhead slam. Boom.
Yeah, boom. But I mean, we have, and the reason we're going here is because it just, as much as we talk about this country, and it is an ever evolving thing, because of our youth. You were talking about it before. Just our flat. I mean, we're kids. We're infants.
Yeah, you go visit the Forbidden City to say nice things to the Chinese leaders, and they show you a whole row of tables that are twice as old as your nation, and they're new.
Yeah.
These are pretty new. We just brought them into the place. Before they were so young, we couldn't let them in the Forbidden City. It was forbidden.
Yeah, antiques. You kidding me? An antique store in China. You're talking about 4,500 years old.
Yeah.
So.
What do we got to be striking around about? We have Corvettes. That's true, and that's a good start if you're going to be a nation.
Well, that's the interesting thing.
We got baseball on the 4th of July, unless you're a Giants fan, in which case we stink so bad that no one. Why ruin a holiday by mixing up baseball with it?
What happened in that game yesterday?
We got swept by the White Sox. The Pale Hose came to San Francisco and owned us in every game. One game we decided maybe we could beat them if we didn't score any runs, and we tried it. We tried.
It hasn't been done well, you know what? I can't say that because it has been done in the history of baseball.
Of course, it had to be done only in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, if you forfeit a game,
they
make the score 9-0, but you didn't score any runs.
They make the score 9-0, not 1-0.
No, it's 9-0.
Well, how do they come up with these stats for
One
that?
run for every person on the team.
Every person gets a run batted in and a hit.
No, I think they just call it a forfeit. But 9-0 is the
official score.
Yeah, is the official score. Just like I think in football, isn't it? It's a weird number in football too.
6-0.
Yeah, it is something like that. It's like 5-0 or some kind of weird number if you forfeit.
Trouble with the Giants is they don't know they stink. They go up to the bat, they strike out, they go back to the dugout, and everybody slaps everybody's hands. Everybody has some sunflower seeds. They talk, they sit, they wait, they go out, they play ball, they make a couple errors. We've been playing terribly in the field. And so I just want to say, Giants, for whatever reason, it's the 4th of July and you stink. So mend your ways. Mend your ways. And DeGrom is back, and now you got another pitcher. Jeez.
Yeah, did you see what a great scene there was yesterday at the City Field? Did you see DeGrom, all of the players out watching DeGrom take his pitching session?
No.
There had to be, everybody. I actually think there were players from both sides that were standing behind him on the mound and just watching him.
Let's take a look at this thing.
Yeah, let's see let's see if we can pick up any tips here or pointers or something.
Because we're gonna have to hit something sooner or later. It's gonna be me standing up there.
Yeah. They were it was something you just never see.
No.
You never see that in the ballpark. One or two guys maybe in spring training sometimes. But to see the crowd that was around him, standing back of him, nobody's standing on the sides, but in back of him, watching him take his rehab pitches, his pitching session. I'd never seen anything like that in baseball before. And I've seen Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale and Juan Marichal and Fat Jack Fisher and,
Vinegar Ben Mizell,
Tom Seaver and Jerry Kuzman. I don't ever remember anybody even at the height of Tom Seaver's career.
There'd be some guys like Bob Gibson. You would not stand behind Bob Gibson and watch him warm up.
No,
that ain't going to work.
Yeah, no, Gibson, you just stayed away from him, man. You just,
I don't know about Madison Bumgarner. I don't know if he'd allow somebody to stand behind him while he warmed up, coming back from falling off another motor scooter.
Yeah. It is amazing, man. It was really, well, anything with the Mets these days seems to be amazing. You just, the problem is now as you get to July 4th, what's the tradition? Whoever's in first place in July 4th is gonna win. Is gonna win the World Series. That was the old thing. But since they went to divisions, I would have to. I'm sure somebody's done research on it, but I haven't. And it'd be interesting to see if whoever's in first place on July 4th in all the divisions. But even now, you have this year, you're going to have the expanded wild card. I mean, it's really getting like hockey, man. Why not just let everybody get into the playoffs?
That's what they've done. Everyone can get in, but don't count on the Giants. I'm just saying. Well, or maybe they'll pull off a big trade. They'll get Ted Kluszewski. They'll trade for Ted Kluszewski. They'll bring him in, and he's going to break his leg getting out of the dugout on day one. That's the kind of
out of the coffin.
That's the kind of year we have.
Jack Bo's got to be pretty brittle by now.
Ted Kluszewski, get up there and get us a Mitch. We need some fun in this game. And he said, I'd love to, but I'm going to break my leg getting out of the dugout and be out for the rest of the season. Thanks for the trade, by the way.
Right now, the Giants could, Ralph Garr would be, a welcome addition. We don't even have to go back as far as Ted Kluszewski. You go to Ralph Garr, go to, Tony Oliva. Anything.
So somebody who can swing a bat. Can anybody here hit this ball?
Connect with the ball. Now, your Seattle Mariners had a good weekend. They beat the A's up again.
You see, the A's got soft because now they have a new stadium deal.
So that deal is going to get done, you think, or
$12 billion, 12 billion with a B, which is the kind of money that the A's will never spend. Not on themselves, not on you, not on a ride to the airport to go to the next game. They wouldn't spend any money.
It was interesting to see how quickly that all moved along once Las Vegas seriously came into the picture.
Las Vegas said, you can play here, and we'll have the farm team in Peoria. We'll see if it plays in Peoria. The Peoria Picayunes, or whatever they're called.
The Peoria Pretzels.
That's good. Do they have any federal prisons near there? Because it's always good to name your team after a federal prison or the nickname for the prisoners.
I think there is a federal, but not that Peoria. Well, which Peoria?
Illinois.
Illinois. Oh, I thought you were talking about Peoria, Arizona.
Oh God, no. They took the name from Peoria to see if it would play in Arizona, but it plays in Peoria only.
Yes, let's see if it plays in Peoria. One of the great quotations of all time. Who said that? Flo Ziegfeld?
I don't know who said that. Let's find out.
So, Mets had a good weekend. Mariners had a good weekend, and now they go to beautiful San Diego for a couple of days, like a vacation. They get to get out of the fog and the schmutz and everything else that's fallen here, and they go down to San Diego, and then they come back up, and guess who's coming to town, Mikey? Your favorite group of fans.
Dodger fans? No, Red Sox fans?
No, Mikey. Oh, Canada.
Oh, I love them.
Our home and native land.
Come on in here.
4 with the Blue Jays. And you know how that goes in this town when the Blue Jays come to town.
President Richard Nixon popularized the phrase in political circles. He would ask how something would play in Peoria.
Wow. I thought it was older than that.
I thought it was a showbiz phrase.
Yeah, I thought it was a showbiz phrase too. Like a vaudeville, like some New York impresario.
Well, you're right about that. The phrase is meaning, how will something appeal to the heartland or mainstream of America? But it was more, I thought it was show business, but it's more about politics. So There you have it.
How does it play in Peoria? All right. You learn a little something every day. So the Canadians are coming. But Mikey, I think we should.
What do they want? Do they want American beer and American hot dogs?
No, they want Canadian beer. I'm sure the Labatt's people. I mean, I'm sure if I go down by Pioneer Square and around the ballpark on Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday when this all starts, there'll be Labatt's signs on every bar. The Labatt's beer people do a great job because I've done a number of remotes down there for them on, when the Blue Jays come to town, because I'm one of the few people that can sing the entire O Canada song, the national anthem of Canada. So they used to have me come down, and I would do an appearance, and at some point you launch into O Canada.
I think it's a great national anthem. I love it, especially the changes at the end. Oh, Canada.
Yeah, when they get next to the La Marseillaise.
And they hit that note in you got an Irish tenor.
Oh, Canada, we stand on God for the. Yeah, that's serious about it. They ain't screwing around.
No, it's a great song. Yeah. Good song. Very, very emotional.
I knew how to sing it at one time. I haven't done it in a long time, so I'd have to go back and look at But I did. Now
I have a warning from my computer that we're going to shut down unless I'm plugged into an outlet. So this could go south. So I want to tell you a story.
Okay, tell me a story. Okay.
I got this from the SF Gate this morning. 20 units of the car unit called self-driving cars in San Francisco. They have it's called the Cruiser or the Cruise,
Yeah, the taxi
and you
thing.
call them and it drives to your house with nobody in it, picks you up and takes you where you're going. For some reason that no one can figure out, the entire fleet of cruise cars went to the corner of Gough and Fulton and sat there with nobody in them. And the cops couldn't get them out because they couldn't open the door. They're locked. They can't tow them anywhere because there's too many of them. They had to call the guys from the cruise headquarters, and they send employees down, 20 employees with the keys to the cars. They have access to the cars. Why they went to Gough and Fulton, nobody knows. Why when they got there, they stopped and wouldn't let anybody touch them, nobody knows. What they should have been doing was taking drivers and customers to their hotel or to the airport. But instead, they went to Gough and Fulton, of all places, a nice steep hill, and just blocked the whole intersection and sat there until they were taken away one at a time.
Well, as somebody who lived right off of Fulton Street for a number of years, that's an interesting place because Gough is one of those streets that goes straight through. You go down Gough. What is it? Down Gough and up.
Well, I always call it down Gough because Gough was going south, but you go over the hill on Gough and you'll go over the hill the other way on.
Right. I always get a little confused with the north south in San Francisco, but that was the street that used to come off of the
come off of Lombard. You go
freeway.
over. You go over. Yeah, on the other end, you get off on the freeway. You go on Gough and you get over the hill to Lombard.
Right.
But going in from Marin, my way, you'd go Lombard to Gough over the hill down to the freeway.
No, because coming in, it's a one-way street. So what's the other street? Franklin?
Yes. Franklin comes into town.
Right. It's Gough and Franklin are the two streets that go. But yeah, so it's a major order. Now, I don't know if it is anymore because they've,
nobody lives in San Francisco anymore. As Yogi Berra says, so many people live in San Francisco, nobody goes there anymore.
Yeah, that was that. I saw that on the news, man, and that was just hilarious. Listen, we have a way to go.
Somebody pranked them, I bet you.
Well, yeah, somebody hacked them, somebody pranked them, somebody did something. But it says something for autonomous cars. There's a long way to go. I mean, America thinks, well, not just America. I mean, Germany and you can do certain little things that will hopefully mitigate collisions. But I think we're a lot further away from the autonomous car.
Oh, yeah.
And certainly with the money that's gone into autonomy being shifted to electric.
Yes. Exactly.
The research, I don't think you can pay justice to both at the same time.
And we really do want to be behind the wheel. We want a nice car with features, but we don't want it to drive itself.
Yeah, I was talking about this on Drive Time on Saturday. We had our guest Jill Simonillo on from Pickup Truck and SUV News, and we were talking about this exact thing. That one of the tenets of America, one of the things that make America feel so free, is that we have cars, that we all have the individual freedom to get in our car and go as far as our money will take us. We can sit here in Seattle, and if you want to get your car and tomorrow or 2 or 3 days be in Miami, nobody's stopping you.
No.
It's your own your own freedom. And that, I think, has enforced or reinforced the idea of freedom in this country, maybe more than anything else.
A white Corvette on 101 heading south. Don't tell me that's just a miracle of nature.
With the top down and the radio on. Yeah, it is really, when you think about it. And that's why, in Europe, you have public transportation. People don't have a problem with public transportation. They get on it, they go here, they go there, they go to the zoo, they go to here, boom, 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 boom. In America, there's that representation that my personal individuality can get into a car, take whatever route I want. If I wanted today, get in my car and drive to Mount Rushmore
You
and
don't have
curse
to.
at the presidents that are up there,
You don't have to
I
check
can
out
do
with
that.
anybody. Yes. Yeah.
I can do that. Nobody can tell me, no, you can't unless you haven't paid your fees or you don't have enough money for gas. No.
I get into my white Corvette in Pasadena. You get into your white Corvette in Edmonds. You drive south to LA and have an In-N-Out burger. I drive north to Seattle and have a Dick's burger, and we'll meet on the way back somewhere in the middle and have a vanilla malted.
Yeah, we'll meet at the there's a great restaurant that's just north of Grants Pass, which is about not the halfway mark between Pasadena, but the halfway mark between San Francisco
Right.
and
Yeah, I got to add another 500 miles to get
Yeah.
to here.
More than that. Oh yeah, San Francisco, yeah, another 500. But if
500
you
should
want to
do it.
do it,
Yeah,
knock yourself out. Just
exactly.
obey the speed limit, or just go 15 over, and you'll be okay.
Don't blame me if you get in trouble, because it should have worked out beautifully. It happens all the time. People drive anywhere they want to go.
Right, and that really, in so many ways, is the essence of what America has become or is.
What we should do is get automated cops instead of automated cars. That way, and you put a limit on how many times you can shoot somebody. Instead of shooting them 60 times, what's the point? Shoot them 25 times. Think of the savings involved, and the result is the same. You just put a lid on this.
When you were a kid, what did you do on 4th of July? What was your go-to 4th of July?
Well, we had the funky Larkspur Parade. We had the annual fireworks in Corte Madera, right in the middle of everything. They don't do it anymore, but they used to. And you could sit right next to the guy shooting them off, right there. All the cannons and little things are lined up.
Yeah.
You just go over there and lay on your back and be underneath the fireworks, and they shoot them right up over your head. It seemed like nothing could go wrong. What could possibly go wrong with that scenario?
Yeah, back in those days, yeah, you burn somebody,
And then the funny thing about being when the 4th is over and the fireworks are over, you have to get to your car and you see everybody in the world that you went to high school with or grammar school or their parents or the guy from the store. You see everybody walking in the dark because they have to get back to their car. So
right.
It's a bit of small town Americana. Even though
it really is, and it's funny because I have, after I left New York, I kind of missed out on that a little bit. I mean, I used to see a little bit in San Francisco, we'd go, I had a friend that lived on Union Street. So we'd always go up to.
Head down to the marina?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we partied at Union Street, and then we would stay actually on the roof of their place.
Yeah, see them all over town.
Fireworks from there. Now they've changed the whole direction. You have to live, I guess, on Potrero Hill, and they've put 1 million tall buildings in the way. So it's not the same if you have a house on like 3rd Street and 16th Street or something like that, or 3rd Street and 24th, or somewhere along.
Well, where did you see them as a kid? What was it, the high school?
No. As a kid, we would go to Rockaway's Playland when I was really young.
That's nice.
And so you go over the ocean, over the Atlantic Ocean, they shoot fireworks off. And then as I got a little bit older, we did our own fireworks shows.
Aha.
And
a Vinnie Riccici production.
Well, no, it was actually a Joe Riccici production, and he'd go down to. We used to go down to docks where the World Trade Center is now, and Battery Park City used to be the docks.
Right.
And you'd go down to docks and you could buy fireworks down there. Little did we know that you could probably buy them in the neighborhood, but we were adventurous kids. So we'd go down there and we'd buy fireworks from these guys that were hanging out. You could ask around, hey, who's selling fireworks? And it'd be some shady guy with a 56 Buick, and he'd open up his trunk and there'd be cherry bombs and ash cans and, all these means of destruction.
You know where we bought our illegal fireworks?
Where?
Chinatown.
Well, that's what we were close to. That was the idea. We went to Chinatown, near Chinatown, because at that time Chinatown was Canal Street, and we just went to the other end of Canal Street. And so that's what we go down there, get the stuff, light them off, and then there was this one guy who was a tow truck driver. I worked with him when I drove a tow truck way back when, Bernie Stravelli. And Bernie had money. And Bernie used to, every 4th of July down Astoria Park, would buy a few $1,000s worth of fireworks, load them up in his tow truck, take them down to Astoria Park by the monument. There's a monument like right in the middle of Shore Drive. Thousands of people would go down there because they knew about Bernie's show. And he would just put on a show. And the cops would look the other way. And people would just pack Astoria Park to see Bernie's show. Now, that was the one thing that got Gotti so adored in Queens, is he did kind of the same thing out in Ozone Park. He bought, he got I don't know, a few $1,000s worth of fireworks and put on a fireworks show for everybody.
And if he had just spent $50 buying a microphone detector, he could have swept the club and still been in power. But no, he blew all his money on fireworks.
Well, that's because the organized crime people or criminals, because sometimes they're not thorough enough to be corporate thieves.
It's true. What's my backup plan here? More fireworks.
More fireworks. Yeah. See,
when's the last time you swept the club? What do you mean sweep it? We never sweep it.
The old lady sweeps it. Well, she goes out, she comes back with the broom. We bought a vacuum cleaner 2 years ago. We didn't sweep nothing. So that was 4th of July for us for many years. And then many times our 4th of July tradition was to, when I got 12, 13 years old, for that period, from 12 to about 20 or something, 25, we would go down to first Atlantic City and then Wildwood.
Where's Wildwood?
On the Jersey Shore.
The beautiful
Or
Jersey Shore.
Asbury Park. But Asbury Park had gotten shaky by then. But we'd go hang out either in Asbury, Manasquan, Bradley Beach, or go all the way down to Wildwood. Wildwood we went to because you could meet girls from Philadelphia there. It was a popular spot with people from Philadelphia.
That's an upscale neighborhood. Nice Philadelphia girls.
Yeah, so you went to Wildwood.
You ever know a town along the stretch there called Beach Haven? Beach Haven, New Jersey.
Seaside Park, Seaside Heights. I don't know if there's a beach. There might be a small community named Beach Haven. See, the thing is, you can't drive contiguously down the Jersey Shore. You have to go back to the Parkway, go down the Parkway, and go back again. But there's lots of, it was the Springsteen era. It was that time where, I couldn't tell you that I saw Bruce Springsteen in 1970, 69, 70, 71. But I'm pretty sure with the amount of time I spent down the Jersey Shore, I had to run into him at some point.
At least you had to see half the band in some form or another playing.
You had, because we were beach rats. We hung out at the beach all day. And at night, we went to different places where there was music. Because we love music. We could
fantastic thing about the size of Springsteen's group is that he had a rare thing. The band had it, but not many other groups had it, and that is organ and piano.
Right.
For every song. Not one guy playing both, two guys playing organ and piano.
Right.
Now that's a rare thing. It doesn't happen that often.
Right. And and I was a huge Young Rascals fan.
Felix.
And so if I saw somebody playing or heard about somebody had a Hammond B3, I was going. Where is it? Oh, it's Ocean City. All right, let's hitchhike up there. Let's go.
Then you must know Dave Baby Cortez.
Oh, yeah.
The man who played the happy organ.
Yeah.
Man, what a rockin' tune.
Yeah. I mean, that was, that was my favorite music. I know there was a lot of people, guitars and Leslie West and Felix Papillard, Mountain and everything. That was cool stuff. But to me, that Hammond B3 and the piano playing together, which, as you say, is very rare, it just took me because, again, I go back to, I ain't gonna eat out my heart anymore. And, just that rockin' Hammond B3, man. It was like church, like going to church.
It was such an unbalanced band. It's amazing they had all those hits because it's like, who are you? Well, I'm the lead singer. I stand in front and play the tambourine. Well, who's he? Well, that's the guy that sings all the songs. So you're the lead singer, but he sings all the songs. Yeah, he's our organ player. I think he's more than that. Let's ask Felix what he says.
Yeah, exactly. And who's the guy on drums, because he's better than Ringo?
He's Dino Danelli. I love to watch him play. He's another one of those guys like Max Weinberg who sat up very straight and was very busy about his job. He had lots to do.
He was Dino was the first guy I ever saw to twirl his drumsticks,
and he did it with power.
And it wasn't just a quick flip; it was a twirl.
A twirl.
I mean, he would. One of my favorite Rascal songs was "You Better Run," and I saw them do "You Better Run" live. And Dino must have twisted the sticks between every hit because he was.
He can do it. It's really amazing. And the thing is, try it sometime. It's impossible to twirl a drumstick.
Fingers to do that.
There's got to be something really wrong with your hands if you can twirl a drumstick.
You got to be triple jointed in your fingers because it just doesn't. You can flip them, but try doing it at speed. And while you're trying to remember to hit, I got to hit the boom, 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 boom. You better run, the tom 3 times or whatever you're doing.
Go to your Facebook. Yeah, go to your Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, and check out the Rascals' greatest hits. Start with the early stuff, and it's a good way to spend the 4th of July.
Yeah, it's a great way. Listen, it's how you doing on power there?
It's gonna just turn off in a minute. So
all right. So if Michael goes, we'll talk to him again Wednesday. It was. I love 4th of July. Obviously too. My daughter's born on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Put a little crimp in my 4th of July's for a long time because you gotta do the birthday thing. But I missed that. Yeah. I missed that. Every year I would. We would do my ex-wife and I would do a big birthday thing for her on 4th of July. And today she turns 30 years old.
Makes you go crazy, doesn't it?
Oh my God. I'm so proud of her and so happy that she's turned out the way she is. She's definitely got a chunk of nonconformity in her. And
that's good.
Yeah. And certainly an independent streak, which is also good.
Yes.
And I couldn't be prouder of her. She frustrates me sometimes, but that's okay. I frustrate her, I'm sure, a whole lot more. But
that's your job. You're the pop.
Yeah. I mean, and you're blessed. Your daughter has 2 wonderful kids.
Yes.
And a wonderful husband. I know him. I met him when she was out in Pittsburgh so
yeah, can you imagine that our families were in Pittsburgh at the same time doing Pittsburgh things? Unfortunately, you were working for a company that didn't. My daughter was not cut out for sales. She was a great talker, but she hated that job.
Yeah, well, I did too. Oh my God, I only did sales as a means of getting on the air. I figured if I sold enough, they'd have to put me on the air. They wouldn't want to lose me.
There's a station group in Fresno and Monterey, California, that are doing sales air shifts. Like you get an air shift if you can do a sales shift.
Yeah.
And basically what they're saying is you got to pay for your own airtime.
Yeah.
And I think you inherit the format, but you have to support it financially through your own sales. And I don't know if that's ever going to work. It seems like.
Well, there used to be a guy.
When's Morning Man going to sell?
Yeah, there used to be a guy a long time ago when I was at KEST.
Yeah, now that's going back.
Okay, yeah, 1450 on your dial. And that was my first commercial radio job. And what this guy did is he leased the space from KEST, from 7 to midnight or 7 to 10 or something like that. And he ran a broadcasting school.
Wow.
And his thing that nobody else really could do, or nobody else was smart enough to do, was what did he do, Michael?
I can put you on the air 7 to midnight at KEST.
He guaranteed you that you would be on the air.
We got this
no buts. Put it in the contract. You will be on the air in a major market.
Got so many jocks working 7 to midnight, I can't get a record on.
It was amazing, and he'd give them all hour. Every night, three of them would come in and he'd do an hour, and
pay him for it.
And dearly. Well, the thing was, Michael, is they were getting that federal money. A lot of them were veterans.
Yeah.
So this guy was, I can't even remember his name. It escapes, but this guy was cleaning up. I mean, because all these people were.
Remember the schools? Bill Wade had a school.
Oh, yeah.
Chris
Bailey and
Chris Borden had a school.
Yeah. And the unfortunate thing is you can't teach this.
No.
The only way you get this is by the strange, and I think there goes Michael, by the strange conjunction of knowledge of what the subject matter is, ability to have a good line of crap, and a drive that lets you put everything in your life aside to work 4 hours a day talking to people and giving them either music or knowledge or company. Or you have to love people. You have to really be in a place where you love people. And thank God that I do this. I mean, hopefully I'll get to do it again on a larger basis. But if not, I had a great ride. It was a wonderful thing. All right, listen, have a very happy 4th of July. Have a very safe 4th of July. To my beautiful daughter, happy birthday. Happy 30th. Best thing I ever did in my life. And to all you out there, we're going through troubled times right now. I know. This is a tough time for our country. It feels like it's ripping apart at the seams. But go get out of your house, get out of your cave, go out and see some people, go out and talk to people. We're not all that different as we've been led to believe. The things that bind us are stronger than the things that separate us. We just need to, we have a need to appreciate our country. Stop listening to the people that says that it's going to hell in a handbasket, because maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just what we're being sold. If you look, it's not as popular. But if you look, you'll find that things aren't as bad, I think, as you see, as the media and everybody else will try to tell you. Remember one thing, they're in it to make money. We're all in it to make money. Welcome to America. All right, listen, that's going to wrap up this show. Thank you so much for listening on this 4th of July. Be safe, be smart, and love your fellow American. Love everybody. We need more love right now than anything else in this world. So I'll see you on Wednesday with Michael. Oh, don't mind my sweater. This is my old Stay Warm in the House sweater. I know it's got holes in it, but I love the way it feels, and it's freezing here in Seattle. So, all right, listen, I'll see you Wednesday morning if the Lord's will and the creek don't rise. Peace, love, Manischewitz to you all. Have a good 4th of July.